Character Artist for Games reviews your work, part 2. So this is part 2 in this now ongoing series where I, a character artist for video games, reviews your work that you submit in the Discord, link down below if you want to join and be cool. Spend some time right now nerding out on how we can make better art. All right, so I'm going to click these in order and see what we get. First up, whoop. Akila. And apologies if I don't pronounce your name right. Hey, this looks dope. It does look like kind of Grassetti fan art, I would say, but it looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like a good little quick project, you know. And this is oh, okay. I thought it was like Onimusha. Yeah, I thought it was Yoshimitsu like without a helmet. Nice though. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe too many images. I don't think we need any ZBrush grabs, but we're seeing like multiple. So maybe one will do. This one and this one pretty similar, right? Especially if I can zoom in, right? That's pretty similar. This face is like so good that it makes me think like, is this a scan? Is it metahuman? I don't see anything here. Pretty impressive. I would say the armor, it looks a little bumpy. It looks a little rocky. We have some kind of sharp edges here and then we have surface noise here. Makes me think that we could have some more polished areas. This looks more metallic than this. I would say the chainmail here and here doesn't look that metallic, so curious what happened if we lost the metalness, or maybe in our texturing added like too much dirt or something like that. The cloth parts maybe could be a little bit more rough. There's kind of a texture pattern on it that doesn't evoke, you know, the kind of material I would think. Like it's kind of a messed up leather kind of material, but I would think it'd be like almost like a pillowcase, you know, like a nice woven thread material. Yeah, so it feels a little bit odd in that way. These feel a bit superficial. This is nice, but we're not blacking out the hole right here. This edge gets a little warbly right here. In general, I would say just trying to crank the accuracy and attention to detail with the material parameters, trying to get details and materials that support what the thing is, that'll help tell the story, that'll help like immediately people feel like it's real. Now, people don't need to understand this sort of thing, but we all have visual libraries. You know, we're all used to seeing things be a certain way, and it just will help us, even if for the viewer it's intuitive, it'll just feel like, whoa, you know, it'll feel like more realistic. So in general, it's pretty small stuff. I think it's a cool character design. I think it's well executed. There's just some like little bits that are a little sloppy. You know, hair cards are tough. I think this is pretty good. I get the feeling that these are very similar in size and shape, so it might be nice to cover some of these negative spaces, maybe try to get a little bit of a shape right here, like a little bit of a widow's peak or a little bit of a thing. So it's you know, again, it's just a little even, but that's definitely a nitpick. Overall, it's very well done. Yeah, I think the metalness here, this looking kind of like gray plastic, is kind of a ding against you because it is next to the face, and it would have been nice to see that metal, you know, shine right there. And then opportunity for micro detail tiling and getting, you know, really crisp with these threads. Again, just because it's around the face. Keep on going. You know, maybe for your next one, do kind of a sci-fi female and you're cooking. Yeah, I think you're on the right track based on what I'm seeing. So overall, nice job. Next up, Murad. Ooh. Little fast. But yeah, nice idea. Nice model. We'll look down here in a second, but let me just give a couple initial thoughts here presentation wise. I think it would have been much better to crop it something like this so that it would play more large. It'd be more full screen in a vertical display, and we just get rid of all this negative space, you know. And what are we getting with this? Not only not getting anything, but also because it's a nice gradient, we're getting banding most of the time. So yeah, I don't think we need that. And yeah, you could have slowed it down. It could be half speed. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, nice idea. Attention grabbing right out the gate. And you can let it pause for a while, but those nitpicks. But anyways, nice idea. Here we go. So we got to go pretty low before we can get some details. You know, again, this is a lot of empty space. I'm pretty hesitant to keep it like that. But nice model. Let's read. There's something to read about it. Cool. Yeah, very nice. I like her big eyes. I like her moles. I like her hair. I mean, yeah, I don't have much notes on this. A strong backlight would be nice. I mean, that's a freaking nitpick. Obviously, it doesn't have much to do with characters. Really seeing the V-Face stuff come online. You do have some peach fuzz in here. I was wondering. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, overall, very nice. Oh, here we go. Interesting. Oh, we got a different pose. Wow. This one you might not need. That one's nice. Kind of creepy. But yeah, overall, very strong. Very strong. This image right here is very similar to this image right here. And I think it might be better. Again, this is just presentation notes. I think your model is super strong. You know what you're doing. I'll give you little thoughts on your portfolio after, but I think it might have been stronger to start with one of those right here and then have the video be the next one. You know, that way people can really like get a nice, you know, close up like this one. I think this would be a good first image. And then from here back up and go, oh, wow, you know, but that's like very small feedback because I think this is a really strong work. You know, maybe you might want to focus more on a specific kind of character model. That might be something we could do. Like for instance, you know, you're using Substance Painter, Substance Designer, usually done for real-time PBR type of rendering. And then you're using Arnold to render. Sometimes you're using Mari to texture. So you're kind of mishmashing workflows. You know, for this character, you used V-Face. So you probably have 8K or 16K textures. You probably have displacement map, you know, when you're getting this close and everything. You have Peach Fuzz. So yeah, I mean, I think obviously knocked it out of the park with this one. You have this hyper-realistic offline rendering example. Maybe a future project, you could try to go as hard as you could on an Unreal Engine kind of project where that's where you do your final renders, and then you don't do things like Peach Fuzz, you don't have displacement map, you don't use Mari, you don't have groom hair if you want to make real-time characters. I mean, that is what I do, so maybe I'm speaking from that way. But again, like, you know, when you're doing cinematics or you're doing offline characters, you know, for VFX, you wouldn't be doing the texturing. If you were doing the texturing, you probably wouldn't be using Substance Painter. So I think there is an opportunity to zero in on the kind of art you want to be doing professionally and emulate that workflow. Look, it's great. I think your next project, you should do another guy, because I think there's a nice big leap here. Not that this one's bad. I think this one's cool, but we're obviously reaching like an even higher level of naturalism and everything. This hand is great too, by the way. That's a great hand. That's a great hand right there, dude. Next up, we have Caesar. Look at this guy. Again, we have this big empty space. Y'all don't have to do widescreen images, you know, just because you got widescreen monitors. Don't forget about the portraits, guys. You know, you're doing characters. Also looks like it's a little bit out of focus. It looks a little blurry. I see some stretching here. Be careful with that. I'm just going to play around the face. I'll say right off the top some things I want to address. The teeth are a little bit weird. Don't know what's going on there. The eyes and the eyebrows look symmetrical. The irises look too small to me. We don't have any eyelashes. The eyes themselves kind of have like a smooth shape around. We don't see like corners. We don't see a tear duct. And then, but you know, you have some stubble. So I kind of want to bring things together, try to find that blend of kind of believability and like naturalism while keeping stylized shapes. Try to emphasize the facial pose and then try to break some of this symmetry so it looks a lot more organic. Cowboy is a great opportunity to make some ugly organic stuff, you know, that doesn't look so rigid. So we'll just play around and see what we can come up with here. All right, this is where we started. As I say, symmetrical eyes, eyebrows, hat, everything. I'm not sure what's going on with the teeth. So here's some potential ideas on what came to mind. Making the eyes still a lot cartoony, making them big, but then trying to get some squint in there, trying to get some of this Clint Eastwood, you know, crow's feet going on, a little bit of a asymmetrical expression, like a sneer, you know, he's like showing his gold tooth. He's got some snaggly tooths in there. Trying to get some, emphasize that angle that you had in the cheeks already and then make them more gaunt right here, you know, that might be kind of cool. Yeah, you could even emphasize that some more, but in general, these are some of the thoughts that came to mind. Even the hat, you know, getting it a little bit wonky, you know, so it's not symmetrical. Same with the clothes. So that's some stuff that came to mind that might make it a little bit more cartoon cowboy, you know. A couple other notes to keep in mind, you know, as you make your characters in the future. There's just something that happens naturally when we're making stuff, you know, on a computer. Be careful with straight lines, okay? Things aren't straight generally, especially on cowboy characters, fantasy type characters that have organic clothes. fibers and leather, and they've been walking around. You really want that wonkiness. Wonkify your stuff. So when you have straps, like when you see two straps on here, you're okay, hey, don't make it straight, don't make it parallel to the floor, don't make it symmetrical. Let's get this tied up like right here. Let's get it cinching the pants right here. We'll have little hanging ties coming off. This one will be a little bit higher, a little bit different. Maybe this tie is a little bit shorter. That's cinching the pants this way, that's cinching the pants that way, that kind of thing. Let's get a slant, on some boots. We can really cinch this, make his arm kind of tiny, and then blouse that out. So anytime you're seeing stuff, this thing too, we could have it like, have some shape here, a little scallop tip or something like that, you know what I mean, with the vest. So yeah, anytime you're seeing some straight lines, hopefully your eyebrows should stand up asymmetrically, and you should try and break that stuff up. Also, just straps in general and how the costumes are constructed, especially with these kinds of characters with very organic costumes. You really want to double down on the physical interaction, let things get mushy, let things squeeze and touch each other and pinch. That way you can emphasize that organic quality, and you can use it as an excuse to make appealing shapes. We can have little squeezing parts. This blossoms out, this does this. So we can make something look a little bit more aesthetic, have some like rhythms, but also sell the fact that this is an organic character, and really play to the strengths of ZBrush. So those are some thoughts on your cartoon cowboy. All right, next up, Kayn. Ooh, what's up? A handsome guy there. This looks a little funny. Everything looks super good, but this holster looks kind of funny. Like it's like vacuum sealed. Like I would assume you did your research and that's real, but that is a little silly. Like maybe a gun should be in there, but damn, this is super nice. Ooh, those straps, dude. I know about nylon straps. This is some damn good nylon straps, dude. Super nice. Okay, real-time character for games. Sculpted and modeled in ZBrush. No AI. I like how he says it. Hey, I didn't use AI, okay? Even though it might look like it. Texturing a substance painter, rendered in marmoset, okay. 3 4K texture sets, okay, for the head, torso, and arms. The hands are really nice too. The veins, this is such a small nitpick, I hate to bring it up because, it's a strong work. So just saying though, I think the veins could be, I don't know if it's in your texture or your sculpt, but I think the edges of your sculpt, of your high poly, are a little sharp. Should be rounder, you know what I'm saying? The veins edges themselves. So just hit it with a little smooth brush. But yeah, the hands are super nice. The textures are nice. I mean, this is super good. Look at that. No marvelous designer. Yeah, really good. Love it. My kind of character too. I like the style. Cleverly avoided the hair. Yeah, good job. Well done, Kayn. That's a weird one to put in there. Yeah, I will say nitpick. Super nitpick. But like if you were working on it and were showing me early on, I'd be like, this holster's weird, dude. Don't do that one. Just the fact that the trigger is in there and that it's not all blurry is like super weird to me. It also looks like it's metal. Like obviously, I'm going to go down this holster rabbit hole right now. I can't help it. But like to get this shape of a gun, you would vacuum form it, right? Which is like a plastic, and you heat it up and then you suck it onto the gun, and so it fits it perfectly. So that would be like a man-made composite material, but it's textured like it's metal, so it's really making my brain feel weird. I don't like it, and it kind of sticks out as like a sore thumb. Everything else is super sick, I mean, this is a little bit of a weird shape, but I'm like, all right, I'll go with it. But then this thing right here, super weird. I think if you had a gun in there, it would probably, that's my gun drawing, like I'm a 5-year-old. If you had a gun in there, it would probably make things feel better, would cover up these stuff. But yeah, just a weird holster choice. Love the straps, love the detail, super great. Don't really have any other notes. Let's take a look at the portfolio here. Hey, an AJ, I recognize that. Yeah, nice sculpt, nice little bits of detail there. Hey, Aragorn, okay, a guy after my own heart, dude. Let's go. Unreal Engine 4, okay. I would say next one, let's do a female and tackle the hair again. You have a contemporary guy right here, maybe a sci-fi kind of a girl. Doesn't have to be too crazy. Maybe a cyberpunky type of thing where you can get a little bit of interesting costuming with some hard surfacey bits. You get glowing lights and stuff, which is fun, right? I think you could make a strong portfolio out of just like the Aragorn, this guy, and a female one that's similar in skill and a strong example of hair, you'd be cooking. So that's, and I would, ditch this. We get it, but you don't need it to be taking up space in your portfolio. But yeah, if you had, you're like a new strong female, then you have this one, then you have Aragorn, and then you have one that has all your sculpts, all your old work, whatever. Maybe don't use the phrase old work. That'd be a pretty strong portfolio. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Yeah, really great job. Next up, we have Pole. Oh, hey, man, I remember you. Hey, that's my thing right here. You were in my first class group, for sure. I don't know did we talk about this? She looks like Daisy Ridley. Was that your reference? Yeah, overall, the big shapes are cool. I think the concept is good. It's a good choice. Yeah, nice video. Yeah, I think the biggest room for improvement here is the hair. So yeah, I know it's your first hair. We got some cuts in there, so I don't know if that's from the concept. The hairline itself is really tricky, and you have to do a combination of having some cards in your texture sheet there that aren't full opaque. They have enough gap. And then I see you have individual hairs here. So you have like these individual hairs, and then you have like pretty much solid ones, and we need an in between. We need something that has like something like this, right? In the card, so we can place them. And we can start to actually break this up, because we're seeing too many horizontal lines here. So the hairline itself is definitely the biggest room for improvement. I think maybe you could even, if this is, if this texture is meant to have this hair, you could even texture the side, like in the actual texture itself, you could like paint in the texture to have like these like nice little baby hairs, help the transition, so you can have like really transition. Right now we don't really have that transition. It just goes super hard. So all right, so added some more detail around the hairline to help that transition. Another thing that might be fun to do is playing with the face proportions. I think that might be fun. Let's see. Always love coming into here and playing around. So right now her eyes look small to me. General rule of thumb is that the eyes are one eye width apart, right? So the middle looks like it's bigger than one eye. And with females, I would tend to go bigger than smaller. So we could play around with, see how far we can go. So I'm just gonna crank it all the way. Maybe even some width right here. So now you can see she looks like she's like surprised, right? So we can fix that too. So let's say we went big eyes. Okay, so we went big eyes. Then we're gonna drop this lid. So her, so she doesn't look too surprised, even though she kind of is. And then let's make some big bushy eyebrows too, why don't we? Okay, how big can we go? I wanna go really big. Guess that's it. Go more, can we? All right, yeah, so we started with something pretty cool. Love the little details and stuff. Kind of messed with the hairline to add detail and make the transition a little bit better, and then played around with the eyes, like just making them bigger and making the eyebrows bigger, and making her a little bit more relaxed feeling. So that is probably where I would focus most of the time if I was trying to update this and make it even better. But that being said, I think this is a really cool character artwork that you made. But taking a look at your work, from where you were before, practicing anatomy and everything, that's the right thing to do. Making your first big real-time character, using all these new tools, getting an Unreal Engine. I mean, it's great. Looks really strong for where you're at. Keep going. I think improving the hair, which is a big skill set in its own, just takes time and more practice making hairstyles for games. And the face is not that bad. I just tweaked it, tried to emphasize features that you already had there. And overall, I think, it's very well done. So you should be proud of this character. But that does it for I Review Your Work episode 2. Thank you for submitting your work. If you're into this sort of thing, join the Discord, be cool, talk about this sort of stuff, subscribe if you like things like this, I guess. And until next time, keep making dope characters. Peace out.